anybody have that gift when your voice turns into song and people are like, who has that gift?
Oh, right here. Right now.
Just a little taste. Just a little taste.
You ain't shy, is you should have told you to sign.
Just a little taste. And I'm going to sing with you. Come on.
We shall overcome.
What's the only Jackie you can show that?
Right, that ain't saying nothing.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday.
After leaving the Delta, we wanted to work with a local historian by the name of Joyce Dixon Lawson to really follow the footsteps of Medgar Evers in the city of Jackson.
Bow in sorrow, Lord, I want Jesus to walk with me.
We do study Medgar Evers very rigorously, so I do know a lot about him, but we do not come and see the buildings. So I would say being here and being able to see the buildings and experience the local, just everything local, and actually be here and be so grassroots. It's I like that.
Like she said earlier, they are deteriorating, and before they disappear or they're knocked down, I would like to see them because that's a piece of history that you'll never get to be a part of or witness again.
Mississippi is the foundation of the civil rights movement. Most of the historical events that we talk about comes back to the state of Mississippi. The Mississippi Civil Rights Museum is core in telling that story.
So guys, now we have the pleasure, we're going to have Mr. Hezekiah Watkins, the youngest of the Freedom Riders who was arrested and taken depart from prison and put on death row. Mr. Hezekiah Watkins.
Me and my group was at this church. When Medgar walked in, everybody stood and gave him a standing ovation. And Medgar finally was brought to the podium, and we still sitting, because we mad. We body. They introduced Medgar again, and Medgar stood and said, I want to address that group in the back. And we started hunching each other. He's talking about us. We body. He's for the young men in the back. How many of you have guns? Our hand was the first hand. Most hands in the church went up. He said, how many of you have ammunition? Same amount of hands. And we thinking we getting ready to go out and kick, because we body. He said, what will you do when you run out of ammunition? Kind of looked around, had never thought about running out of ammunition. Then he gave us an example of a dog. Have you ever seen a dog chasing a car? His bark be so ferocious that he just want to bite into you, bite the tires off the car. But once that car stopped, the dog is somewhat lost. He said, that's what you all would be, lost and dead. And I got to thinking about that. Lost and dead. When that meeting was over, I made my way to Medgar to shake his hand. I said, thank you. And from that day on, Medgar was my friend.
When we think civil rights, when we teach civil rights, we remember people as icons and not human beings. And the significance of that for people who are visiting a home is to remember that. Humans lived in this home. They danced off in the house, right? They laughed. He did not wake up one day and say, you know what? I'm gonna be a civil rights icon. He woke up as a person. He was other things in his life outside of his career and his work. I think that's what people need to remember when visiting the home. And then sadly, he was assassinated in that driveway on June 12, 1963.
I feel like we read and learn about this in history, and sometimes it gets like, we don't feel the weight of it. It gets diluted and we just stop feeling it. And I want to feel that again, just feel that fuel and learn about different ways to advocate for our people.
You know, the Evers family, they love music, they love painting, they love the arts, they love dance. And so we wanted to be intentional of really working with a local artist by the name of Sabrina Howard, who really created this paint-by-number puzzle canvas piece for students.
Like I said, you don't always know how it's going to work. Some things are going to work fine and seem perfect, and some are going to be imperfect. But why do you keep saying that?
Each student would get their own 1 or 2 mini canvases that they painted, and it had shapes on it, lines on it. And the idea was individuals are strong as individuals by themselves. But when we put all these paintings and these canvases together, you get a beautiful picture, right? That is the movement in itself.
Hey, now Miss Myrlie's behind you. She hasn't seen it yet, so wait. And Rena's with her as well.
Beautiful.
We love you, Miss Evers.
Beautiful.
The students didn't know this was happening, where we brought Myrlie Evers to look at what was created, right? A beautiful image of her husband.
I look at this and I'm so moved by it. And I'm so very, very thankful by it. And if it's any way Medgar can know, I know he is thrilled to his spirit to be remembered. And hopefully in remembering him, you will carry those same things, strength, of hope, of practice, of being the very best that you can be, not forgetting that there are others side by side with you. Those in front of you who might need a little pushing. Those behind you who need your hand to reach back and help bring them up with them. Because that's really what it's all about. Of helping each other, moving each other forward, and seeing that this country that we call America, the land of the free, really ends up being just that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Mic check.
good way to really build community is over at a table. That was also part of the reason why we really wanted to go to footprint farms. And having somebody actually grow your food, prepare your food with their own hands, and then serve you that food is nothing like it.
Something that I live by is when change happens when youth is in the room.
I thought you were gonna sing this song. Change.
Because if you have a whole bunch of like older people and they're trying to make a change that isn't going to affect really their generation, then we need to be in the room because that's what's really going to make the impact if we're in the room making those changes.
And we don't have much to lose.
Right.
I ain't got no job I'm losing. I'm still going to be going to my HBCU at the end of the day. I have nothing to lose, for real.
I've grown up in the South. I grew up in Georgia, and that kind of history isn't as obvious to me as it is like it can probably be here in Mississippi. So just learning about that, witnessing it firsthand is kind of nice.
Growing up in Jackson, I've passed it, I've walked past it, but I've never gone inside and gotten a total breakdown of like how they lived their lives when they lived in the moment in the 1960s. So just to see where Medgar Evers and Miss Myrlie Evers and their children resided while he was here was amazing.
Having the opportunity to curate this experience in the wake of what's happening in the country at that time period, you know, I had Trayvon, 1960s had Emmett, and this group of young people had George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Ahmaud Arbery, right? And so how do we use those individuals to help spearhead our own voice when their voices were taken from them? That was the ultimate goal from the Gen Z Summit.
If generations way down the line, they're still saying the same things that I'm saying, then what were we doing, you know? So I definitely understand, like, why aren't we getting this credit? But I'm thinking long term. Thinking long term.
Gen Z, Gen Z, Gen Z, Gen Z.